I think it's time to give my summary review of the Frozen Wilds DLC. But before I do that, let me just get a little summary of what we just did here. We finished the Forge of Winter, or the Winter Forge, or whatever it was. Basically finishing the Frozen Wilds. So we worked our way through the facility and did a bunch of puzzles and basically accessed Cyan and was able to free Cyan by going to that main core area and basically had to fight a Fireclaw and the machines there. But then we were able to override it. However, it shocked us, and Rhea had to give her life, sacrifice her life for Cyan, which she did. Cyan was able to destroy that cauldron, so no more machines will be created from that cauldron, but machines did escape like the Fireclaws. Cyan transferred herself then to this backup facility where we got to have a long discussion with the AI. And, of course, Aratak is off on his own now, but yeah, Rhea sacrificed herself, which I really did not expect. And basically that's the end of the Frozen Wilds. And now if there's any more stuff I wanted to do in this area, I could kill those Fireclaws, do that last errand, which I probably will do off camera, and just to complete it for completion's sake. But that seems to be the last errand to do. But pretty much then all of the Frozen Wilds is complete. If I go into my notebook, my Frozen Wilds progression is 83%, so I guess there's one more errand to do, and that'll boost that completion rate up. I don't know what unknown is. That has never popped up, so I don't know what I have missed there under activities. Obviously, I've done a tall neck, I've done a bandit camp, but I don't know what this unknown is. Let me know what that is below. I might actually look that up to see if there's something I've missed. Obviously, I have missed something. I just don't know what that something is. But I have 9 of the pigments, 6 of the animal figurines, 1 outfit, 6 weapons, 7 unique modifications, 5 machines scanned, 9 side quests. I currently have 6 errands. I'll have 1 more errand done when I conclude the Fireclaw errand. I just don't know what the unknown is, so let me know what I have missed there. In terms of data points for the Frozen Wilds, I am missing a few audios here, so probably some stuff somewhere I have missed. And some world data points, and also a quest data point. I got all the Frozen Wilds hologram data points, but I'm missing 1 quest. So there are some things here that I'm missing that I wish I had found, and they're somewhere out there, and maybe I'll find them as I continue to play on my own, which I will do, because I do want to do this one last errand again on my own. But yeah, I missed some of these audios, which would have been nice. I regret that. They're somewhere out there in the map, somewhere in the world. But everything is open to us, so I can go anywhere now and just kind of figure out what I have missed. Who knows? Maybe I'll find them, maybe I won't, but I'm going to leave it where it's at right now. So yeah, I didn't get 100% completion, and I also don't have 100% in the main game either, so it's close, but it's not quite there. Oh well. I did reach max level 60, so I am max level in the game. I did want to achieve that in my playthrough, and I have achieved that, so thumbs up for that. But I think I've done pretty much everything I can do except for that one last errand. We now have all the storylines. As I mentioned before, if you have not seen me play the final battle of the main game, and my review of the game there, that is in part 36 or video 36. Go back and watch that, and I have all that there. But I'm going to call this the last video of my playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn. So this is my last video that I'm going to make. I probably will not make any more videos. This is it. This is the end. Now I'm going to talk and do my final review of the game. So if you are just tuning in for my final review of Horizon Zero Dawn, this is it. I have at this point finished Horizon Zero Dawn, the entire game. And I have now finished the Frozen Wilds DLC. So I am recording this right at the end of the playthrough of the Frozen Wilds. I just completed the last quest. We freed Cyan, and so that's where this recording is taking place. So let's talk about this. First of all, again, if you want to see my long review of this game, check out part 36 or video number 36 in my playthrough. At the end of that video, where I finished playing the final battle of Horizon Zero Dawn, I did a review. This is now a review for pretty much the Frozen Wilds. So let's talk about that, and then I'll just give a quick summary of the game as a whole. So for the Frozen Wilds, I definitely enjoyed this DLC. I think this was a great addition to the game. I think that this was a lot of content. They put a lot of story in here, even though we already had a really big story for Zero Dawn. They added a lot of story for the Frozen Wilds. Let's talk about the new things. They added new gameplay mechanics, and new things to play with. Some of the new gameplay they had were puzzles, right? They had these new puzzles where you had to make these data paths or data flows that you had to connect, right? And you had several of those in the dam area, and then up here in Thunder's Drum, or at the end of the last quest here. So that was a new mechanic that they had, a new puzzle they introduced. So that was new. And that one was pretty tough, actually, that new security pathway thing. That was actually pretty tough to figure that out, because there were different ways you could have done it, and you could have made the data flow from one direction to another. You could have gone around this way, or you could have gone around that way with the data flow, and that would have changed the paths you had to make. So that one was kind of challenging and took me a while, but I think I figured it out at the end. The first thing you needed to do is actually go to and work backwards. You actually needed to go to where the data was supposed to flow into the stream and figure out that one first, because that one could only go one way. You had to make sure you had it pointed into the stream so the data could flow back to it. So actually, I think the key thing on those was to work backwards. Start from where the data was supposed to flow in, and then work your way backwards. I think that might have been the smarter and quicker way to do it. Now that I'm remembering how I did it, yeah, that's how you needed to do it. I think that was the way to do it, because that data could only flow in one direction in that path, back into the stream. So you needed to figure out where that one was, where that one lined up, and then work your way back to where all the other ones line up to where it's coming out. So yeah, you kind of have to work it in reverse, I think, might be the best way to do that. So that was a new thing that they enabled in this game. Another new thing that they brought in was just all the jumping pads you had in the last quest. You had these tubes that would come out, and you had to jump on them and wait for them to pop out, and then jump from each one to each one along a path. That was a new thing. That was a new jumping mechanism. We already had the spinning wheels. We had seen those in the cauldrons, but this was integrating all of that together. So that was kind of a new mechanic that they had in the game, something new to try. Also, you just had the little thing where you had to shoot the pathway, where you would shoot the daemon, and it would create the jumping pad that you could jump up on. Some of that was new, but then the ventilation system, where it was shooting fire out of, and you had to override that to disable it before you could move on. Just some newer stuff there, so that was kind of exciting to do. But it was really interesting that they made the entire last quest a pretty much puzzle, right? You had to go through each section and puzzle your way through to let Araya and Aratak through. So you basically had to figure out this puzzle as you moved through the facility, right? So that was kind of interesting that they made that whole last section a puzzle until you got to the boss fight, which was a fire claw and pretty difficult to deal with. So that was a really, really big, difficult boss battle, and you really wanted to pull all of your resources together at the end there to fight that fire claw. That was a pretty intense thing. And now we found out from the end of this that even though Cyan destroyed the facility, the fire claws are out in the world. They're out here in the world, and we have to go fight them now. We have to take them out, which is an actual errand to go do, which I will do. But yeah, that's interesting, right? So those were some new things that we encountered. But another new thing, which I found interesting, is the control towers. So we have this Shield Weaver outfit. You get this Shield Weaver outfit in the main game. It's like a really cool reward. You're rewarded by having this outfit that has a shield on it. And you're like, wow, okay, yeah, going into this DLC, yeah, I'm going to be all tough and everything. I'm going to be able to pull off this the Frozen Wilds easily because I've got this Shield Weaver. Nope. No. They say, no, we're going to develop a control tower that pops up and disables your shields. So you get this great shield, but then they take it away. They're like, nope, you don't get to use that. We're going to have these control towers where if you get close to them, it disables your shield. So now you have two options. You can destroy the control tower by blowing it up, or you can override it. And overriding it, of course, will freeze the machines for a short term so you can take them out a little easier. But they give you that option. But yeah, I just find it so interesting that they give you this Shield Weaver outfit, but then immediately in the DLC find a way to disable. You know, it's like they give you a buff, but then they nerf the buff immediately. So that was interesting, to say the least. So those control towers were also something new they brought in, and you know, had to figure all that out. So there's that, right? And then of course you have new machines to fight, like the Frost Claws as well. And of course the fact that all the machines are a little more tough to deal with because they are taken over by Hephaestus, the daemon. So that makes them more difficult. They give you harder enemies because they're assuming by the time you get to the DLC, you might be max level 60. You might be max level, or I guess maybe 50 or 55, right? You may be close to max level. And they're like, nope, you think you're good? You're not good. We're going to make the machines tougher for you. So we're going to give you a tougher machine by making it a daemonic machine. And boy, did they. Boy, did they. So yeah, it's interesting how they like expect you to be all buffed up by the end, but then you get to the Frozen Wilds and they're like, nope, we're going to make everything tougher. Control towers to disable your shield, and daemonic machines that make you really make the machines really tough and make you lose your health really fast. So that's interesting. Now they did give us some new stuff though. We have new Banuk weapons. We also have 3 special weapons from the Banuk. We have the Ice Rail, the Forge Fire, and the Storm Slinger. And I love these weapons. I think these are great, especially the Storm Slinger. I think it's my favorite out of all of them. The Storm Slinger is definitely my favorite. Look at this. That is... Okay, does a little bit of damage. But it's still a cool weapon. It's just not a cool weapon. I love it. And I also loved the little errands that you could run to go upgrade all of these. So you upgrade them. And yeah, the other one I like. So let me just mention it real quick. I didn't like the Ice Rail so much, but the Forge Fire. Forge Fire was the other one I liked. Especially against Frost Claws. This ability here, that fire explosion it has, that is great against Frost Claws. So I love the Forge Fire. The Ice Rail I did not like too much, especially the charge on it where it would charge up the ice rails. I think it takes too long to charge up the ice rail. So this ability right here, see how it charges that ice and then fires it? That takes too long. Takes too long to charge up. This ability, not too bad. But yeah, the Forge Fire and the Storm Slinger are my favorite. And then you have the errands, which improve the abilities on it. So I definitely recommend doing that. Definitely recommend doing that. So those are some new Banuk weapons. And then other Banuk weapons you have are the bows. Of course, you have the Banuk Striker Bow, the Banuk Power Shot Bow, and the Banuk Champion Bow. So I have all of them equipped, and I tried all of them out. They all have a power shot. If you hold aim on them, they do that secondary power shot and give you a real powerful power shot. So those are new weapons to play with. Then you also have the Warwick's armor, the Chieftain's armor. And so the outfit, the Banuk Warwick Chieftain. This one provides health recovery over time, so you get a health over time benefit from it. I did try it out in my playthrough, and I wasn't too fond of it. I like the Shield Weaver outfit the best, and that is because when you take damage on the Shield Weaver, at least, you have that shield protection before your health gets affected. And with the Warwick one, yes, you get a health regen, but your health immediately is damaged when you're damaged. So I like the Shield Weaver the best, but I did try it out, and it is something new to try and check out. So it's there. I did appreciate the new Banuk gear that I could try out. For that, you need Blue Gleam. That's different. That is something different about the Frozen Wilds DLC, is you need Blue Gleam to buy the Banuk gear. You can't just use metal shards or whatever. You have to have Blue Gleam. So I did all of the looting to get that Blue Gleam, and I caught all the Blue Gleam that I could get, and that allowed me to get that. And then also the pigments and all of that, and the figurines. Finding that figurine stuff was really cool, because that led to an interesting revelation in the Wildlife Center, where you get to talk to the person there, and you get to see what each animal was and get a little holo projection about that. That was really fun, and I enjoyed that. So that little area down there at the visitor center, right? It was a visitor center. That was fun. That was a fun little thing. And the dam. The dam was really interesting too. That was a really fun side quest where you got to, restore the dam, the power there, and make the water flow again and all that. Yeah, that was fun. The dam stuff was fun. The visitor center stuff was fun. And just the fact that we're in Yellowstone National Park itself, that's fun. Like we know there's a super volcano there. We know that Project Firebreak is, there to stop that. Cyan succeeded. We got like 3,000 years of safety. The storyline is actually really, really cool in the Frozen Wilds. I found the storyline really good, and I found all the things they had available in here really exciting, and I love the location. I love the environment that we're in with the snow and the ice, and then you get to see the sulfur pools as well, and all the wonderful colors. Like if you go to these areas where it has the geysers and everything, these are real colorful areas, and they're really a unique environment to explore. Really, really unique environment to explore. And that's new, because that wasn't in, the main game. Down here you have desert. Over here you have greenery. And this is just something that's really different from the main base game. The environment is something new they've added, and it's just really, really cool. So I want to give a shout out and, to all the game developers, to the artists that created this and put all these assets together to make this area unique. That was just really cool. I really, really enjoyed that. So some just really cool environments to explore. The graphics, again, are good. Remember, this was a PlayStation 4 game. This was for the PlayStation 4. It was updated a little bit for the PC, and I think the graphics are really good. I think they do kind of hold up for today, for 2024, but you can tell they're a little dated in some areas, but they're still not bad. I wish it had ray tracing. That would have been the one thing I would have added for the shadows and the ambient occlusion. I would have added a little bit of ray tracing in there for that. I talked about that in my main review for the game, so you can check that out. Again, video number 36 or part 36 of my playthrough for that review. So the graphics, yeah, I talked about that there. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about in the main game review that I left out. I definitely wanted to bring this up, and I remember it now, so I'm going to talk about it now. And that is the music of the game. The music is just really, really good. This has the kind of soundtrack or kind of music that I enjoy in games like this that remind me of games like Deus Ex. If you've ever seen my Deus Ex playthroughs, which I do have on this channel, and I suggest you watch, I did Human Revolution and I did Mankind Divided. I did both of them on this channel. Those have the kind of like music that I enjoy, that like cyberpunky music. It's in there in those games. It's also in there in Horizon Zero Dawn. If you listen for it, it's there. And it's that kind of background, I can't really explain it, but it's an atmospheric kind of a music that really draws you in and makes you feel nostalgic. It's a nostalgic kind of a music in a way, but it's like a futuristic cyberpunky type of music also, and it is in there in the Horizon Zero Dawn playthrough. And especially here's where you hear it the most, actually, is in the loading screen. If you load a new level, you're loading your game, you're waiting for it to load, listen to that music that's playing and you'll hear it. And I think it's really engaging, and I think it's a real great part of this game that I enjoy. And it's also in the background too. The soundtrack and the audio for this game, the music is just so good. And I think that's part of it, because the visuals and the storyline can draw you into a game, but that music, it's there. It adds to it. It really brings you into the game and into the environment. So this game is up there in music to that sort of game like Deus Ex that I enjoy. And so I just wanted to mention that and say that, because I think it's a big part of the game, to be honest with you. I really do. I think it is a big factor in this game, is that music. So I wanted to specifically mention that, because I did not in part 36. I forgot to mention the music. But I think that's pretty much going to end my review and everything. I don't know what else to say about Horizon Zero Dawn. I have enjoyed this game immensely. Immensely. The Frozen Wilds, a great addition. But this has been a fun game, and the storyline has been so engaging to learn what happened to the ancient world, the old world, and how we're in like 1,000 years in the future, but then there's this hidden past. That kind of a dystopia storyline is just so engaging to me, and I really do love that. I really love that. This is my kind of game and my kind of storyline. I'm not a big bow and arrow fan. Like when I play games, I've also played like a lot of the Far Cry series. I don't do bows and arrows, right? I do weapons. I do real weapons. I don't do bows and arrows. So I'm not a huge fan of bows and arrows in games, but Horizon Zero Dawn made me like it. It made me like bows and arrows. Of course, that's all you have, so you're pretty much restricted to that, but it made me okay with bows and arrows, at least in this game. You know, it made me okay with that. So once I got the hang of it, once I got the hang of how you hold draw on the arrow to aim, and you get more precision shots by holding the draw, once I figured that mechanic out, then I enjoyed it. Before then, I was missing all my shots. But then I learned pretty much a lot later than I should have. I learned that you hold draw so that you get precision shots with your aims. So yeah, that was bad on my part, and it took me a while to catch on to that. But now that I know how you do that, I'm okay with bows and arrows. I'm okay with it in this game. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Um, the only thing that I might have liked to have had in this game would have been loadouts. I have played like Far Cry, for example, was a game I played like before this one, Far Cry 6, I think I played. And it had loadouts where you could like have your weapons and your armor set up so you could select what loadout you want. I would have liked to have had a loadout kind of system where I could like have a saved loadout of stealth and then a saved loadout for killing humans and then a saved loadout for killing machines, so that all I could do is go quickly to my inventory and select that loadout and it loads it instantly. Like specific armor and specific gear like bows, specific bows and arrows and stuff. I would have liked loadouts to have a quick select so I could like just quick select a loadout. That would have been something I would have added for this game and I would have enjoyed, because there were moments that I did want stealth, that I didn't want to be detected so much, and there were moments that I was killing humans, and there were moments that I was killing machines, and they all kind of required different things. And yeah, I could quickly go to my inventory and add them, but I would have loved a loadout selection instead, where I had specific armor and bows and arrows and stuff switched out. That would have been an addition that I would have added or would have liked to have seen in the game. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I think that's the only thing that I was missing really was the loadouts. Otherwise, the game has everything that I need. Yeah, I can't really complain too much. Yeah, what can I say? Horizon Zero Dawn has been an experience, and it has been an incredibly fun game. And just another big shout out to the developers who created this game. They created a great game here and had a lot of fun. But really just a big shout out to everybody who's watching these videos and has spent time with me watching from video 1 up to now. Let me know. Let me know if you're one of those people. Did you watch my first playthrough? Did you watch my last playthrough? You know, have you gone from the beginning of this series with me to the end? If you have, leave a comment below. I would love to know that. I would love to know that and your thoughts. Because I make these videos for you all. I could easily just play these games on my own and not record it and just have fun. But I do it because I just want to show off great games. I want to show off great gameplay. I'm all about playing games as the developer intended, which to me is maximum graphics, highest graphics settings, maximum performance. I played this game on a GeForce RTX 4090 so that I could play at a high frame rate with the highest graphics settings.
Much of anything in this.
I feel like that's the way the developer intends for their games to be played, maximum settings. So that's what I'm trying to deliver on my channel, is to show that experience, but also just to show an immersive experience. I don't like playthroughs that are really quick and miss everything. I want to take my time. I want to explore the world. I want to read the data pads, the text logs, the audio logs. I want to hear all the dialogue. I want to find all the side quests, find all the errands, find all the quests. I feel like that's how the developer intends people to play their games. They intend you to take your time and enjoy it and, you know, really immerse yourself in the game. And so I don't want to blast through a game as quickly as possible. I don't want to do that. I want to spend time. And so that's why I'm recording it, because I believe that I am delivering the kind of gameplay that developers want to see. I feel like I'm delivering the kind of gameplay that people might want to see and, you know, get immersed in with the game. And so that's why I'm recording it, because I can deliver that. I can do that. I can spend the time. I can show that. I can show it at maximum graphics, and I can show respect to the game and the developers by being immersive in the game, taking my time, and I want to record that and show that to you. So that's why I'm doing that, and I hope you enjoy that. I hope that's something that you are, you know, enjoying, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to deliver that experience and about the gameplay and the graphics and everything. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing that. So let me know what you think of the playthrough. I do intend to play Forbidden West. Forbidden West is out now on the PC. I do have it. It's purchased. I have not played it. I do not know its storyline at all. I'll be going into that one completely blind. I know nothing about it. So I'm looking forward to playing Forbidden West. It will be on this channel. Expect that. I don't know the time frame, but it will be on this channel eventually. So subscribe if you want to see that playthrough, and hit the notification bell, because I will have it on here eventually, and I will do the same kind of thorough playthrough with it. And I believe it has a DLC also called The Burning Shores, I think. So I'll do all of that on this channel. Again, I don't know the time frame, but it will be done at some point, and I will play it. And I cannot wait, because there are a lot of unanswered questions. What sent the signal that broke up all of the subordinate AI functions for Gaia and set them free and gave them their own voice? What did that? What allowed that to happen? Because Hephaestus was the one that took over Cyan. Hades was the one that was trying to, kill the terraforming system, basically. What did that? Will we learn that question in Forbidden West? That's the big question, and I want to know. But again, I've played the end of this game. I know the end credit scene of this game, where Aloy goes to where she found Elizabeth Sobek in the bodysuit at her original home. I know that end credit scene. Again, part 36 or video 36 in this series has that final battle, and all of that there is in that video with a review of the game as well. So check that out if you want to. Again, a big thank you, a big shout out to everybody who's watched these videos, or anybody who's watching just the Frozen Wilds. Thank you for watching that as well. And I hope you all have a blessed day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.